Hey everyone, hope you're good, hope you're good. All right, today's discussion with my good friend Damo, we're going to be talking about, can you really have a work-life balance? Our obsession with providing and not looking after our mental health prioritizing our mental health and our family's needs. We're going to be really homing in on that today. All right, let me add in. How do I do this? Here we go. Bear with me. I think Damo can do it himself. I'm just going to wait. But yeah, any questions? Here we go. Invite. Mr. Damo's in the house. Yes, let's bring Big Damo on. Demanio!
Hello. Let me give
Passa, hombre? Tutto bene?
let me give the live a like.
Yes. Oh, you look proper. I need one of them for my little bald head top, man.
You know what, Chiro? Cause I work from home, yeah. There's so much interference going on
Yeah.
and around, yeah. So I just get these on. It makes me feel like a workman.
You look proper. So me and Damo talk about this. I'm a little bit stiff on social media, so you're going to see a little bit more of what he sees and actually what my clients see a little bit more, man. But anyway, that's another discussion. Dane, today we've been talking about this, and I wanted to bring you on because there's a reason why I wanted to bring you on. Now, in terms of its work-life balance, if we're talking about someone I see as a real grafter and a workhorse, not just in his career, but family, looking after himself, you definitely tick all those boxes. But I have seen that change, and also it did help me to. I'm still in the process of, but really change my obsession with this providing and thinking that is just what a man does, and also, yeah, I want you to have your spin on it. And can we really have this work-life balance? Does it even exist? And I want you to obviously delve into that. There's obviously a couple more questions, but what is your spin on it, Dane? Can we do it as men? Can we do it?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. What a question. What a way to start a morning. Okay. So, in short, yes, we can. Of course we can. Of course we can. Uh, yeah, it's achievable. It's achievable. So, Chira, it's a great question, right? And for me, when we're like asking questions like that, they're very layered, right? There's often a lot more context to it than the actual question, right? But the way in which I would answer it is in a way in which I'd coach it, right? And someone would come to me and say to me, Damian, work-life balance, man, it doesn't exist for me. Like, it's not possible. How do I earn XYZ, be a good father, eat healthy, be a good partner, be a good friend? How do I fit all of these things into it, right? And for me, it all starts with the goals. So we're reverse engineering from the goals, right? And a lot of men, a lot of people, a lot of men that I speak to, when they set goals, Chiro, they're just vague and up in the air goals. Like, I want to make a lot of money.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
cool. I want to be fit and healthy. I want to be a great dad. I want to have a thriving sex life. Like, cool. All right. If we was to really get to the nitty gritty of it, like, what does that actually mean? What does it look like? And I don't think no balance can be achieved without getting to the nitty gritty. And let me just give you an example of that, right? Um, okay, I'll give you a number of examples, but I'm just going to give you like a chain of events here. So I wanted to be a footballer, right? Cool. I didn't ever think of like what level I wanted to play and how much I wanted to earn and where I wanted to live, right? And without thinking of those things, right? And as much as I'm very grateful for being a footballer, there was loads of negative consequences, Joe. Then I wanted to be self-employed. The same thing happened there. Then I wanted to make good money. I wanted to make 40K, 50K a year from being self-employed. And without being very clear about my goals, every time I stumbled across them and got there, there was actually no elated feeling. It was always an anticlimax.
Yeah.
Balance comes from that initial firstly comes from initial clarity of like actually knowing what you want.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? Yeah, it's definitely Universe was talking to me today. So this is where I feel I've changed a little bit with, like the work-life balance and this obsession of, no, got to be in it, got to be doing these 10 hours a day. And basically, I took the car and I went home, had a shower from the gym, and was en route here. And Rochelle was about to take the kids out, and she went, all the coats are in the car. All right. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, like,
Yeah.
and the first initiation was, no, I've got to prep for this, I've got to do this. But hold on, I actually have the luxury of dropping them back, the coats back to them, and
Yeah.
actually nothing's going to happen. And I
Yeah.
feel like that is work-life balance. Like that is it. It's like, no, I'm still going to go do what I need to do, but that doesn't mean, no, they've got jumpers. I'm not actually prioritizing my children then. Do you know what I mean? And I get it. If I was in Scotland, look, man, I can't do that, can I? But I can. And I think that is our problem. We just say there was an appointment tomorrow. We spoke about it, didn't we? You've got like appointment with your children. What we would do is we're worried what's going to happen with our clients. And look, I know the value you give to your clients and I fully get it. But it's just going, well, no, I'm just going to move it because my children are my priority.
Yeah.
And I feel, well, why does that happen? That looks sick.
Maybe you said like something really powerful and it just like bang, my children are a priority.
Yeah, but I feel that's work-life balance. And again, it's that's what I do coach with the gentlemen I help, and predominantly are high performers, do quite well in their business. That is it. It's like, no, I can't do that. But what are you actually doing in them? Are you actually working? Like, are you doing anything? Or it's 20 minutes of your day. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I feel like that was a big. I'll be honest. 2 years ago, I'd be like, I'm not doing it, and I would not do it. And I'm telling you that now. And it caused a
So
lot of stress when I get home because obviously, yeah, she's right. She is right.
that's so thanks. That's great transparency. I really like that because when people like talk about work-life balance and they look at it like in an imbalanced way, like it's fluid,
It's
it's
fluid.
flowing.
It's flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think one of the benefits to like actually when you start to work towards it is like having less
Yeah.
anxiety. So like I think a lot of men get more anxiety about not fulfilling work like objectives than they do about making sure their house is in order. And I think that's the start of like, well, that's the repercussions of not having the balance, right? And another thing I want to touch on, right, is I think is at the pinnacle of this kind of conversation is it's entirely subjective, Jiro. Yeah, it's like you have to, when I talk about goals, like, and this is why it's so important to establish the goals, is you have to make it very clear what your priorities
Yeah.
look like to you in that
That much.
moment, right? And it's subjective to you. So like social media is intimidating. It's a beast. So it's like constantly like even maybe my content, your content, it made me make overwhelm people into thinking that you should have to be one way.
No.
But it's subjective. It's to the moment. So when I talk about defining, being really clear about these goals, yeah, that's why, Chiro, because you need to be like, whoa. Actually, my idea of work-life balance looks completely different from Alex Hormozy and Jordan Peterson and Eric Thomas and all these guys that me and you have chased. Listen, I remember watching Eric. I know I'm waffling on a bit here,
No.
yeah. I remember watching some guy, Eric Thomas here. You lot should check him out. He's on YouTube. Fantastic motivational speaker. But that's what he is. He's a motivational speaker. Yeah, you listen to him at 3 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, and you're geared up, ready to go and destroy the gym and smash out some deep work in your business, right? But like he doesn't really give a formula, yeah. And I was only applying it to one area of my life, though. So like, and I was so like, yeah, more work, more gym, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really like look at the other goals that I had. I wasn't really clear about what fatherhood goals look like, you know, and how much time that took of my day. Or I wasn't listening to Eric Thomas before before that. So that's why I'm saying it's so subjective, and you have to be very clear, Chair.
I think. Do you know what I'm learning? If it's hitting me, like, obviously I know you have gut feelings, but it was that I come off the phone and it was like it's playing in my head. That's why I got. That's for me. I felt like I had to go take action.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's playing in my head, I've got to go and take action. Because really, that's what that's the feeling. It's like, no, you need to go do that.
Yeah. But what is it? That's the thing, Chiro. It's crazy, yeah. Like subjective
Yeah,
to your circumstances, right?
of course.
That's what that made you feel. And
Yeah.
and until we create clear goals, we can't create clear boundaries and clear
No,
expectations and agreements with the world, with the universe. So that's where the balance doesn't come.
of
And
course.
it's seasonal, Chiro. So that's another thing I'll touch on. Like the balance that you have in this moment, right, is down to the current circumstances, right? And I'm sure like you're prepared to be vulnerable as I am. Like I've been caught up on too much of creating this one type of balance that's consistent for the rest of my
Yeah.
life. Then the world
No.
throws this fucking curveball
Yeah.
at me, and I'm like, whoa! This balance doesn't exist in this current
No.
set of circumstances.
And
It evolves, it changes.
100%. And look, I'm gonna be very transparent. I have gone back into this like up at 4, and I'm just solely checking into what I need to do with work. And I do think there's days like that, but it's just if you can step, and I think that's important, like stepping out and going, hey man, like let me have my time. I think what a lot of us do is if I keep going, the wall's gonna fall over. And a lot of the time, from my past experiences, maybe I'm doing it wrong. It don't work like that. It does not work like
Yeah,
that. You have to
of
reset,
course.
come again, and you don't quit. It's not quitting.
Yeah.
It's just changing, or just going. The laptop's going down today. Like I'm not actually being productive.
Yeah. So Jiro, a lot of people are afraid of seeking that balance because they're fucking caught up in the cycle of thinking they've got a formula that works for them,
Yeah,
right? In fact, yeah, everyone have a look at this here. There's a thing called the law of diminishing returns, right? And it exposed me so bad, right? So what actually happens is, right, that the current formula that you are committing to. So when I mention formula, it's your lifestyle, your current like circumstances. Yeah, you're like, this is what. If I do this really hard, right,
yeah,
I'm gonna get more results, right? But the truth is, if you was to really analyze that formula,
no,
it's not. So what actually happens is diminishing returns means that things get worse, right? So if I keep working excessive hours to get more overtime and make more money, right? You think, oh, I'm going to be free from whatever you're trying to be free
yeah,
from, yeah. But actually, it's not. You become overweight, you create more anxiety, your relationship becomes shit. The law of diminishing returns. So I say
oh,
that to say this, right? What you want to actually do is look at where you're actually fucking doing too much and not getting a lot back.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's where the balance
That's the
starts, right? Does that make sense,
balance.
Shiro?
No, 100%, 100%. And that's brilliant. I love that. And it's so true. And I feel like even a lot of us do it. Or to make more money, you have to work more hours. I don't think that is the formula. Like it doesn't work. Like look, don't get me wrong. Yes, shift work, and I understand that, but maybe your ceiling so small and low, you're not seeing it from a different point of view, and the direction can go somewhere else where you don't have to work 20 hours a day to make more money. It can be something like a system or something like that. And I feel like that was big for me. That was massive for me. Just understanding that. I think I was like caught up when I was like mid 20s, and then when I had kids, and this is where these are my goals. When I had kids, I still wanted to behave like I was single and living in
Yeah.
my dad's house, and and unfortunately, it don't work like that. And I think a lot of men that are married have kids and still want to live that life, and but I'm providing. But
Yeah.
you're stressed, overwhelmed, and bro, I remember come Sunday, I just want to sleep in my bed all day.
Yeah. And then we got to look from that's so powerful, Joe, from a behavioral aspect
Yeah,
here. Like, what are you actually telling your children? Like, so for me, one of the things that I do to kind of remind myself from a behavioral aspect is like, is this healthy for my children to
yeah,
see me do this to myself?
yeah.
And if it isn't, then you kind of need to put the brakes on, right? Yeah, super powerful. I guess with this conversation of balance, yeah, the for me is I wouldn't like to give anybody an idea of what balance is,
No,
but more so how to achieve it. So
yeah,
like, yeah, so because for many of us, whether you've got one kid, no kid, 5 kids, what your income is, balance may look a little bit different. So someone may have to do 18 hours a day, 3 days a week. Yeah.
yes, it's understandable.
But for me, like there's steps, Joe, like first and foremost, establishing your goal. Just making it very clear, so you know that this is my financial goal, this is my physical goal. So then you can start to like create behaviors that allow you to achieve it, and also just fucking getting rid of waste. So like I think a lot of people waste, Chiro, like time, energy, money. When you really establish your goals, you can work out what money you're spending that takes you further away from them.
100%. 100%. I'm a firm believer. I just feel it's just what I think, and I definitely really try to make sure my clients, your goal's your goal, but you can't come away from looking after yourself. Like you have to actually put yourself first. And what I mean by that is, what are you doing when you wake up? Because a lot of us just wake up for the sake of going to work, and that is the wrong formula, man. Like you're not actually, you're just there. I feel like that's totally zombie mode. Wake up, go work, come back. Wake up, go work, and that's when you don't actually enjoy life. I feel like there's nothing there. You're just attaching yourself to your job. And also, and I get it, like I love what I do, and I can see, I know the passion, but you're more than your job, man. You're more than your job.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a big thing for me. I used to say some crazy things about the business, like if the business went, it would take a lot of me. And yeah, maybe it would for the first 2, 3 days. Man, I can't assume like I'm not going to be upset, but I'm more than that, man. I'm so much more than that.
Yeah. People make like their business their personality. You know, like entrepreneurship their personality, money their personality. Yeah, we obviously we're going. I feel like I don't want to deviate too far away from your question, but like purpose, Chiro, like that's for me. Like I've got purpose in my work. Like finding purpose in my work is like wakes me up, allows me to wake up early and fulfill the service, right? But I have purpose outside of my work, right? You're touching on some really powerful points here, but essentially, I think if you don't really have clear goals and value-orientated goals. So listen, everybody watching this, if you're watching this on playback here, write this down on a piece of paper. Go and get a piece of paper and write value-orientated goals. So for me, a lot of people don't realize what this is. Yeah, goals that orientate around your values. Like you want to lose weight because you want to be a better mother, right? And being a better mother is important for your children's future, right? Not just wishy-washy goals like, oh, I need to get the new Mercedes VMP2 with a value. Really goals that really like stick, right? Sticky goals, and then you can kind of like reverse engineer behaviors from there. Then you can look at how you balance them behaviors.
Massive. That is the first part of my process, really. Put meaning to the goal. And we don't move on until we put meaning to it, because I've had goals and they didn't actually, it was just, I'll be honest, maybe copying, or they were just wishy-washy. Value, man, like massive. Definitely, man. I kind of, we talk about all the time, if you really want to do something, you will do it. You will do it. It might look a bit different, but you're on the path. You know, you will, and again, obviously with goals, things change. But definitely, I love that one, Damon. It's so important. Attach value to your goals and direction, and then you work off whatever comes your way, because things will be chucked at you. I know we briefly touched on it. So, fatherhood actions. What would you say? Because look, obviously, Damo's story is really powerful in terms of what he done in terms of changing his business. So from working 18 hours a day, right, Dame, at the time, and then moved it on to going online, and really his business is worked around his family, which is really powerful, you know. And let's be honest, let's not cut the crap. What was you scared of prior, and why are you so happy you done it?
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned what you're scared of. Like, so I was scared. There was this kind of like innate fear of like not being able to provide for my family. Like, and I feel like a lot of us men suffered that. Yeah, but that wasn't really real, because I knew that it wasn't that bad. But then there was like being behind. I'd kind of collected quite a lot of momentum with the service that I created at the gym, the studio. And like we was all kind of on this entrepreneur journey at the time, and then to then kind of like go, like I'm going this way, then I'm gonna like edge off that way, meant that like I had to accept that the income would drop somewhat drastically, right? That little fear of like, oh, what if I don't kind of, and to be 100% honest, that fear kind of stopped me going all the way in, because I kind of always like thought in my head, oh,
Yeah.
I'll just jump back that way a little bit, right? But if I'm being honest, right, actually, I'll stick on the fear for now, yeah. So
Yeah.
that fear of being behind, and being seen as like unsuccessful, like all of those things were the triggers to potentially not go down the
Yeah.
route, right? But then on the other side of that, man, like opening up my time to things that I wanted to actually turned me into a little bit of a beast. And I don't want to go too much into this because I'm probably sure this will tie into other questions, right? But
Yeah.
when you actually start operating from a place of purpose, which I think comes with balance, Chiro,
Yeah.
and things are like orientated around your days, orientated around values, yeah, man. Like as I said, man, just become a little bit of a beast, man, without trying to gloat.
Nah, man.
Yeah,
Gloat. It's important.
yeah.
And
Just going back to it
sorry,
though, I do think, and you say this a lot, yeah, I do think it's seasonal and it's a process. So like, I developed a level of mastery for my craft, and that came from the 18 hours. I
yeah.
probably just done it 10 years too late because
Yeah.
of the career change and the mindset where I was at in my early 20s. But
Yeah.
I do think there is a period for young people, especially, to
100%.
like really get their hands
Yeah.
dirty, right? You know,
100%.
so and I think it's a good thing because obviously if you're passionate and you love it,
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of responsibilities. That is the balance, right?
That is the balance. And that's where someone asked me the other day, was like, oh, so you're part of this 2 hour a week work brigade. I'm like, no, 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 you're getting it all wrong. I'm not that. I still work probably around 30, 35 hours a week easily, and more so,
Yeah,
but I just have better balance and it fits around my life better. It's still a process. The missus has a go at me still, I'm not saying that.
yeah,
And she's right to, but I think before I was seeing it all wrong, and it was like, I feel like I was a corporate entrepreneur. I'm going to be honest. It was my business, but I was still letting it dictate how I wanted it to run, and that for me made me actually start not enjoying it as much. And I've always had a passion to help, and I've always had. That's why I set it up. Like the whole goal was to empower my community, as many children as I can, my other business. But I was, oh, I can't do that because that will look bad. And it's like, no, you like, just go for it, man. Like it's not, it's not.
yeah,
What's the worst that's going to happen? But I think that was a big thing for me, as in, that corporate entrepreneur, and I think it's a big like confidence, self belief thing. Like, oh,
yeah,
if you don't work 90 hours a week, your business is going to fail. Look, if you put in good work for 40 hours, and let's be honest, who puts 40 hours good work a week? I don't think that is very true. I'll be honest.
yeah,
It's not true. Deep work, but really what I'm not going around the house a little bit, but what I was understanding was I had to try it to see, and I'll be honest, not like I said, not in a big head way, nothing really changed. And I'm more relaxed and I don't lose my head. I used to cry. I've cried in front of staff. Like it was that deep. I was so stressed and overwhelmed and worried things were going to go wrong. I used to go like I remember like I used to come in here just for the sake of coming in here. And I think a lot of us do that. Like we there was a presentation about 4 months ago, and Damo, I'm very like with that. I'm like I work over it like over a week. I knew the
mm,
presentation. I've done it about 10 times. I would have gone. No, I'm not going to gym today. I'm going to get in at 4, look at it for 3 hours, just look at it, and then go
yeah,
to the presentation. And that's what a lot of us do. It's like, so you're not, you know what you're doing, believe in yourself, but still look after you.
yeah. That's a balance in
Yeah,
itself, like, and and that lack of self-belief can kind of affect the balance. Like a lot of us substitute that like kind of imposter syndrome with excessive hours.
yeah,
you know,
excessive.
like that's what I heard there. I heard like you said, like I don't really believe that the work I'm doing is or is of a standard. So let me just double check and triple
Yeah,
check it. That's kind of what I heard. But Chiro, to be honest, man, I think one of the most powerful things you said just there is that like if you was to really break down your work week and the hours you spend and your busy schedule, like how productive are you? How
yeah,
much time are you spending doing quality work? How could you condense it? How many times have you tried to upskill? How many times, I've worked with clients here that like brag about being like non-tech savvy. And I'm like, listen, you should do like a 6-week course or something, for a couple
Yeah,
£100.
you're
Like,
making
nah,
it hard for
fuck all
yourself.
that. And I'm like, listen, bro, listen, you're putting extra hours into your day. Then they're complaining about the length of their day. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you've done it. But it all stems back to like, if we were to get really brutal, some people don't want to be at home. Sometimes some men don't want
yeah,
to own their responsibilities at home. There's a lot going on. That's why I think goals are so
important.
important. Seeing how you want to father. Do you want to be at home after the school run, or do you want to stroll in the door after a couple of beers at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening? But it's
It's
subjective, right? And
subjective, of
yeah, yeah,
course. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna. Are you gonna work with someone that goes, "I want to do the beer side of it"? And
yeah,
if I don't think that's going to be their goal. But you're right though. It is subjective, and I think, like you said, I definitely feel like yes. I think that 18 hours, maybe that like we done it. So I can't turn my nose up at it, and I get caught up in it at times, and I feel like yeah, that's all right, and it is part of the learning. But when do you change? And you can adapt it. It's just on you, like you said, and if it's affecting your life, then yes, you have to change it. Like, and that's it.
yeah. Sure, there's an element of like the industry, especially the entrepreneur,
Yeah,
self-employed, like where it's like braggadocious work ethic, like, oh, I get up at 5 and I finish. I've done it and I finish it and I've done this and I earn this and stuff like that. Yeah, and I'm like, cool, but where does that affect?
yeah,
Where does that look? I've had a like ex-teammate this year die of cancer, another diagnosed with cancer, another ex-teammate diagnosed with cancer, and I'm like, listen, all of that doesn't matter once you get some kind of negative
yeah,
medical health scare or your children are ill
yeah.
or so that's what I mean
Yeah,
by balance, right? That's what
definitely,
I mean.
definitely,
Yeah.
100%. Um, Dayman, appreciate it, bro. And like I said, that's why I wanted you on because you coach about it, you actually live it, and you've been there. And like you said, it's still a process, and it's not about perfection. It's just going back to the goal and going, actually, today, this is what I'm gonna do because I need to be there for the kids, or and I think that's important. But I think my advice to anyone watching is, look, man, you've got to really look at if you're consistently feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, stressed because of your work schedule, that you can change. And that is just us empowering to go, look, have a look at it. There is time in your day. Reset. Don't always keep running through the wall and all thinking you are to go to get the new result. Sometimes step back and then go again. And the 3 pillars I coach about it: yourself, family, career. And it might sound mad, and sometimes the career might be there, and and your family might be there, or your family's there, but you have to then reverse it. And it might sound mad what I'm saying, but that is the balance I feel, knowing when, and then coming back to it. And I feel that is really important.
Yeah, I support that. I support that. I just think not to get obsessed too much about like living in perfect
Yeah,
equilibrium with all your ideas and priorities. It's just recognizing that it's a process, and
mm,
like you just said, I think you said
re-
revisiting it. So yeah,
exactly.
I totally agree, Joe.
Love it. Listen, man. Anyone, anyone that wants to get fit, mindset. My main demo is the main man.
And
And
my
listen,
book, my book.
oh yeah, but go on, Dame. Tell us. Tell us.
Well, it's about to come out in hard copy in the next couple of weeks, but it's currently on Amazon Kindle. You don't have to have Kindle to access it. Um, the manuscript, 12 principles to a peaceful, purposeful life.
Beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of what we just spoke about there, man. But it's a self-development book for men with homework, so get it.
Get it, get it. I'm gonna put the link in when it comes out. Also, what one thing we took a big one today: attach your value to your goals. And if you want to work on that, drop me a message. I'm the king of it. Big
Catch you
Dames,
in a
love you,
picture.
bro. Thank you, brother. See